Welcome guys to the second tutorial where I will be going through the code of my old project just to give you an overview that how this is, what is the structure of this code for this app. And as you can see, there are so many files. So what I will be doing is that yesterday it took me like basically I've seen this tutorial somewhere, and but I just didn't want it to 100% copy his design. So I made my own UI, even though I'm not really good with constraint layout and I have yet to learn it. But still, I have like it took me like 6 7 hours to like kind of grasp and like try to come up with some kind of the UI of my own. So these are like the start fragment, result fragment is going to look like this, as you saw. And these layouts I'm not going to build, so you can always download the layout or whatever if your code is not running from my GitHub repository. So in the new project I would just be copy pasting at least the animations, the drawable resources, the colors, but the main logic of the code, the Java code, and also the navigation, implementation, and Gradle and Firebase integration, that I'll do in front of you. So let me just minimize this, or maybe let's just get right into the new project. So I will once again, like for before that, I would just go to, if you are, if you do not have the access to GitHub, then I would just go, this is your start fragment looks like. So I will try to scroll slowly, and you can pause the video, and this is your result fragment is going to look like. And this is your quiz fragment is going to look like. And this is your list fragment where you are inflating the recycler view on this layout, and the layout for that recycler view item is going to look like this. So, and lastly, your activity main is where you are hosting your navigation graph. So that's all, and rest we will be going through each and everything. So let me just start a new project, and quickly just name this, let's name this my quiz app. Let's finish the project. Okay, I believe our project has loaded, and what I will do real quick is I would, since I have the code from my old tutorial, old project, so I'm just going to replace that into my res folder. So yeah, and I can just I have just gone through each of the layout files, but we have added a font file and drawables that I had told you. So this is good, and if I go to, then we can override this, and the app label is app name because we have copied this, so that is why my quiz app. So let's just So yeah, our files have been loaded here. So we have to obviously create a navigation fragment to host it in our main activity. And yeah, so let's just go to res, and since we are implementing Android navigation from the Jetpack component, and let's select the type navigation, name it navgraph. Yes, and we have to add these Gradle dependencies. I was gonna add it anyway, but let's just add it as we go. So yeah, here is what we are seeing here is okay, and let's just rebuild the project, and we have to change the app theme, because here is we have replaced some things, and okay, let's just name it. So and let's go to manifest, and yeah, it has been replaced. So what we can do is let's just close all of this and go to nav graph. So here we have to put our fragments, and we will be creating a package to refine, so our code is more manageable. And we have start fragment, and I have to delete this one because I already have the layout for it. We have the list fragment, we have the details fragment, we have similarly the quiz fragment where our user is going to take the quiz. So after these fragments, we will be adding Firebase integration, and then I will end this tutorial and we will get right into the logic of the app. So yeah, fragment is here, and we have quiz fragment. The reason I'm just writing these names for layout because I already have the layout, that is why. And lastly, we have the result fragment. Okay, so our fragments are ready, and what we will do is I'll just get rid of this, and all these fragments would need layout files. So real quick, let me just add start fragment, clean this also, and result fragment, quiz fragment, and list fragment and detail fragment. So we have mapped our fragments in here. So here now we can see our fragments, and from it starts from start fragment and goes to list fragment, and it goes then to detail fragment, and then it goes to quiz fragment, and lastly it goes to the result fragment. So now it is going to be really simple. We'll be just going to this dot and let's create actions. So quiz fragment, result fragment, and after result we want it, if the result is done, let's just go back to list fragment. So the reason the preview is unavailable is because we have to add the layouts here. So layout at start fragment, and it should be showing. This is not necessary, but obviously to recognize the the fragment, maybe we can just add it since we are here. Detail fragment, quiz fragment, and lastly result fragment, and going back in here. So here we will be seeing the previews of all of our fragments. So this is kind of a map of your navigation, that how it works. So user cannot come back to this, only just can exit the app. So what we'll do here is we can just go to Firebase now, and I'll go to Google, close this, and just go to my Firebase console, go to console and just leave it there, and let's make sure that you are logged in with the same account in your Android Studio. And if you have added the Firebase plugin from this preference, I think from the settings, I think, yeah, you can search for the plugins if you are new to Firebase. So for me it is already installed. Yeah, for me is already installed, so I don't need this. But if in here you don't see this, so then you can go to the settings and plugins. So let's click on Firebase, and we first need an authentication. Connect to Firebase, and here you can add a new project, my quiz app. This is, if even if this is disabled, you will do fine, and you can accept it. Although there are so many things about privacy about in this world, but you know, we have to live here, so we have to put up with the terms and conditions and all that. So if we click continue, and here it should be showing this Android Studio to Firebase dialog, but if it doesn't show, that means it wasn't successful. So let's just click connect, and so yeah, And if we refresh this, and I'll go in here, and we'll see our Android Studio if it shows that it is connected. So yeah, you need to see this check here. That means your app is connected with Firebase, and we will add these dependencies to our Gradle. So this is for Firebase authentication only, but I have some other dependencies that I would like to add, and we'll just add it right now. So first I will explain a little about those dependencies. So guys, once you want to pass values among these fragments, because here we are using navigations, we are not using intent, so we cannot just intent dot put and send value, like we will be using navigation. So in navigation you pass arguments among the activities, so that is why you need dependencies for that, and you call it safe arguments. And also we would need glide to load images, and yeah, so I have the dependencies, and you need Firestore cloud database dependencies because we are going to store our data in that. So I have uh, some dependencies here that I would be adding. So let's just close all this, so keep it easier to understand. And let's go in here. So, and I'm explaining this is for your navigation, it has already added. So I don't know if we let's just keep it there, and like Firebase I can bring it down so it's easier for you to understand, because I already have it. But once we had added Firebase authentication, and once we had created nav graph, it had added some things. But anyways, let's go with this. This is for, I'm going to upload this repository on the GitHub, so I'm just commenting here so it would be easier for you to understand this. So this is for Firestore. This is for login. This is for navigation, and we need multi-dex enabled. For some reason I get this error if I don't enable this in my Android Studio. I need the dependency of it from the old project. Yeah, here it is. And as I was talking about passing arguments, so for that what we would be doing is Gradle app module, yeah, let's just change this. So the safe args I have already explained you, and Google services is for Firebase. And this is also the part of, sometimes it does not generate the safe arguments for you, so you need this. And lastly, I would be adding another dependencies here for the navigation in the project module of Gradle build file, build.gradle file. And I think for this project we are done for We are done with dependencies, so let's just I have added it once and for all. So please notice that this is a different file. This is a project module. Okay, so I'll just close this, close this. So now what we have done so far in this tutorial is that we have created our fragments, we have mapped them on navigation graph, and lastly I'll be taking coordinator layout, and just the ID of it, nav graph, is has to come in here. Okay, so if I run this app, then it should show us the first. Yeah, I would run this app before I exit this tutorial. I would just show you that how our main activity looks like, because we are putting our navigation graph that contains all of our fragments into the main activity layout. So I will just pause the app for a minute so it loads meanwhile. So I'm trying to load the preview of this on my just get it done. So yeah, you see this, it is working well, and since user is not logged in, so that is why it is showing us this. And in the next tutorial we will be taking it to the next screen. So if the user has logged in, then so that means that in the next tutorial we will be implementing Firebase authentication for this app. So please subscribe the channel. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment, and also check my GitHub repository. Thank you guys, see you in the next one.